So, Premier League predictions then. Not long to go now this season. It really is coming down to the final weeks now. So, match day 36, kick off with Liverpool against Chelsea. Obviously, usually always a massive game, whatever the circumstances are. Chelsea, we are playing terrible. We are 6 defeats in a row in the Premier League. It's looking terrible. We don't know what's going on with the manager. We've obviously got a cup final to look forward to, but even after making that, our league form did not improve at all against Nottingham Forest. Very worrying times. It's not happening for us at all. European football's looking very unlikely. Top six looking very, very unlikely now at this stage. Liverpool obviously lost to Man United last time out. Form has improved recently. Maybe not the performances that they're to be hoping for still, but they are. For me, I think they're playing good enough, convincing enough to think that they'll beat a very poor Chelsea team, or a Chelsea team that are on very poor form, and get this Champions League place sewn up. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Liverpool win. I have to be honest, my predictions, I can't see us doing anything there at the moment, to be honest, the form we're on. Fulham against Brighton. This is a big game because both of them still with chance of European football. However, every time Fulham get themselves in a good position, they do something like they did last week where they lose 3-0 to Arsenal. Very poor performance. They did the same thing to Liverpool a few weeks back, but they've had some good performances as well. They had some very good defensive displays as well, like when they beat Aston Villa 1-0 and when they got the 0-0 at Brentford. So on their day, they're a good side, but they are becoming a bit unpredictable. But European football's within reach for them, and Bournemouth are sitting currently in 6th place. It's going to be a close one, this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw. I think a draw's a possibility, but Bournemouth do seem to be really hitting form at this stage, and they beat Palace quite 3-0 easily last time out. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Bournemouth win in that one. Sunderland and Man United. Sunderland at home. So Sunderland, their chances of European football are quite slim now, but they are still having a very good season for the first season back, where Man United look good for third place now, but I don't think they'll want to take their eye off the ball. I think they'll want to finish the season strong and keep the form going. It could be a game that's a draw. It could be one of those games where, it's with it coming towards the end of the season, where maybe both teams settle for the draw. But I think Man United will have just enough to get the win there. I'm going to go for a 2-1 United win in that game. So, Brighton and Wolves, Brighton at home. Brighton, such a good run, but poor result last time out at Newcastle. So they need a response here, and I think they'll get it at home to a Wolves side that are already relegated. Better performance last week, although they was playing against 10 men Sunderland for most of the game. I'll go for a 2-0 Brighton win in that one. City and Brentford, City at home. Brentford performs did dip a bit, but they got that massive win last time out against West Ham, and it's gone firmly back in the picture for Europe. They're looking very good for a top, they could, especially if the Conference League goes down to 7th, 8th position, they've got a very good chance of getting in there. There's a possibility with how the competitions could pan out this season that 10 teams could still qualify for Europe for the Premier League, which is just unbelievable. But I'm going to go for, I think Man City have to win. I mean, Man City can't afford any more slip-ups. If Arsenal win, all Arsenal have got to do now, after making the Champions League final as well, but all they've got to do in the league is they've just got to make 3 wins and they've won the league. Now at this stage, City drop points at Everton and, now find themselves 5 points off the top. They're the team that needs Arsenal to drop something. They've obviously got that game in hand, but every game is now, they have to win City. Any more slip-ups, and they're definitely not the favourite anymore. It's very much swung. Turned on its head, this title race, within the space of a week. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 Man City win. I think they just get it over the line here and stay in the picture. Forest and Newcastle. Forest at home. Now, this is a hard one to predict because Forest league forms are so good. They've been so solid. Forms in all competitions have been very good up until that game last night, where they got beat very heavily by an Aston Villa side, who, although they've been on poor form themselves, really shown up for that Europa League semi-final last night. We'll talk more about Villa in a minute, but this is a hard one because both of them are not that far apart in the league, actually. 16th against 13th. I mean, Forest surely safe now. Newcastle can't really go up or down significantly, really, and they're on a very bad run that only finished last week against Brighton. Maybe taking a risk here, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 Nottingham Forest. I think they might get the win at home and make themselves safe. So let's have a look what we've got next. Crystal Palace against Everton. Okay, this is interesting because Palace are on a bit of a high as well. They obviously have made the Conference League semi-final. Very good performance over the two legs against Shakhtar Donetsk. A very dominant performance, fair to say. 5-2 winners, and then made the final there face Rayo Vallecano. So got a lot to look forward to, Crystal Palace. The league form, though, has taken a little bit of a hit, and it's to be expected maybe with the Conference League a bit, but I think their performances have been a bit better as of late. But they are, up until those results they've had recently, which I'm not surprised that they didn't perform at Bournemouth, didn't perform at Liverpool, with it being between those Conference League games, that's what their season's really lying on. They want to win that and win another trophy, get in the Europa League, and all of that. But the league performances have not been good enough recently. It's fair to say. They've been they're on a bit of a winless run here. Have they got a chance to maybe do something at home to Everton? I think it'll be close, but I think this will be an Everton win. I think Everton had that little bit of a blip, but I think the performance against City was very, very good, and I think they was very unlucky not to get the win there. And I know they let a 2-goal lead slip, but I think we saw a lot of quality from Everton in that game, and I saw enough from them in that game to suggest that they'll finish the season strong and maybe even push on and get a European place. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Everton away win in that fixture. I think that one there is a close game, but I think Palace, all the focus is on the Conference League, and I think for Everton, it is all about the Premier League. Obviously, it's all about trying to get into Europe at last for them. Burnley against Villa. I think Burnley are a team that are already down, and they've, I think we see that with their performance last week against Leeds. A very deflated side. They've got, have a new manager coming into the Championship next season. It's very much, it's not been good this season, Burnley, and they were grinding out a lot of draws at one point. They've hardly won any games, but there was a point where they was grinding out the odd decent draw here and there. And this is a game where maybe that could have happened a little while ago, but I can't see it now. I think, but even that fight's gone. They're down. It's not. It's a free hit for them. They can be a danger, but I can't see it personally. I think Villa. This is a game where Villa get this much needed league win because maybe I'm more convinced by that now than I was before that game last night. What a performance from Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest in that second leg in the Europa League to turn that around and make the final. Finally got a chance now to win the first trophy in 30 years. This is much needed. It's such a successful club. This is too long. This club has gone without winning anything. It's finally time we see them lift silverware. And well, they have now got a Europa League final to look forward to against Freiburg. So I think Villa will be on a bit of a high here coming into this, and they want to just make sure to get this top 5 over the line in the Premier League and get this win here because they need to respond to this poor run they've been on in the Premier League. They need this Premier League win. The performance against Spurs last week, I was shocked by how poor they were. I was absolutely shocked. And the performance the previous week at Fulham was poor as well. The first leg in the Europa League wasn't brilliant, but what a performance last night. That was so much more like it. That's how good they can be. And I think I'm going to go for a 2-0 Villa win away at Burnley. I think I think they'll build on that performance. I think. Now the Sunday evening game is a big game. It's not only a London derby. It's not only a historic rivalry and always a very entertaining fixture. There's a lot lined on this for both teams. It's an absolute must-3 points for both teams. That's what's going to make this one so interesting. West Ham against Arsenal. West Ham are at home here. Very bad game for them. It was going their way, West Ham. They were 17th. They were in the box seat for survival. But one bad weekend could swing it. One good weekend for Spurs. They get their massive win at Villa. West Ham for a very bad day at Brentford. All of a sudden, they're the team in the relegation zone. They're the team that all eyes are on. And they was on a good run. Only 2 defeats in 6 going into that game, but that was really not a good performance. They fell apart. They got the equaliser chalked off, but fell apart after that, I have to say. I was surprised as well because they're a team that usually works hard to stay in games, but it did not go their way last weekend at all. And Arsenal now have got such a big opportunity here. They've got such a massive opportunity. 3 wins is all it needs, but all 3 of them. This game is for me is potentially could be the hardest one, and I say that because West Ham needs something for safety. They need to do something, and Arsenal. The thing is with Arsenal though, they're so hard to score against at the moment. So hard to break down. That defence is really starting to perform again like it was. They had a couple of games where it was being breached, but they found that form that they had earlier in the season again. They've had some massive performances recently. Shut Atletico Madrid out in that second leg, get through to the final. Also last week though, we see them beat Fulham 3-0 before City dropped points when it was absolutely must win. I mean, it's must win now, but when it was absolutely They have to win, or else that's it. The chance gone. They performed. They won 3-0. They kept Fulham out. The attackers have done their job as well. I think they're actually playing on some of the best form we've seen them play this season, Arsenal, as of late. They really have responded, I think, since that Man City game, to be fair. I am going to go... It's a hard one to call because I think West Ham might have a goal in them, but part of me thinks if Arsenal's defence carries on the way it's going, they might be able to shut them out. Yeah, Joe, I'm going to go for 1-0 Arsenal. I think this could be another 1-0 Arsenal. Spurs against Leeds is a Monday night game, and this is huge because Spurs, now, whatever happens, they'll need to respond to West Ham. They might have a chance to capitalise further. They might be in the relegation, so we don't know what the picture is going to look like for them, but they're facing the Leeds sides that are on such a good run of form, really, really good run. Only that one cup semi-final defeat, but the league form has been immaculate as of late. Attack's starting to fire, everything's starting to come together for them, and they're looking to have a very, very strong end to the season. That said, Spurs have been better under De Zerbi, it's got to be said. I was not convinced with the Brighton game. They played very well, but it was a game they played very well and didn't get the most out of. And I thought that was a worry. I wasn't overly convinced with the 1-0 win at Wolves because of how bad Wolves have been. But last weekend, wow, what a performance that was away at Aston Villa. Aston Villa were terrible. They were shocking. That's one of the worst performances I've seen from them, as I said earlier. But Spurs were brilliant on that. They have to say they were brilliant. De Zerbi does seem to be doing something with this team. But this is a hard game. Leeds at home, even at home at the moment, it's a very hard game. Leeds are on such good form. This is not. They will, they want to keep their good run of form going as well. And if they was to get the win here, I mean they're safe already. But if they get the win here, then they could actually officially seal safety, I believe, as well. So. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think this could be a very entertaining game. I think both teams coming into this off of a good performance and a good result as well. Both have had no European football for either as well, so both have had a week off. It's a Monday night game. I think both teams will really be up for it and really go at it. I think Leeds will really, they'll come, they'll play their football, they'll test Spurs. This will be a real test for De Zerbi as well to see how far he's been able to bring this team. At the moment, because Villa were not at it at all Sunday. They're going to pose a lot of threats. Leeds that Villa couldn't in that game. They're going to test them. But also, though, it's a game where I think Spurs have to keep that form going, and I think really it's a must-win for them. But I think depending on other results, this is a game where whatever happens, Spurs cannot lose here. It's a must not lose. If they lose, they're back to where they were before. Last week, so let's see what they can do here. I'm thinking they're going to get I think this one's a draw for me. I think this game's a point each, but massive fixtures there. So again, another huge weekend. Massive results. Games kicking off at both ends of the table. We see relegation scrap is really heating up now, especially with Spurs and West Ham in particular. Everyone else looks to be getting a bit of breathing space. Those two though. Really, really getting tight. Really going to be interesting to see what happens there. City are hanging by a thread in this title race now. All of a sudden, that's just completely flipped round. That's what 1 week, one result can do that in football. Just completely turn the table, turn the fortunes of teams around. But and of course, we've also got this European race as well. So many teams still involved. So many possible outcomes. How teams could qualify for all the 3 competitions in Europe for next season. So it's going to be another very interesting weekend. I hope everyone enjoys, and I will see you in the next one.